kitegeera.
Let me also use this opportunity to inform the public that government has committed to increase access to secondary education through the construction of at least one seed school per sub-county and funding to support the universal education programs. This has been happening, but it will continue happening until we make sure that every sub-county truly has a secondary school. The increased funding scheme is designed to strengthen the teaching and learning in government-aided primary and secondary schools. I urge you to ensure that this funding growth will lead to improved learning outcomes, increased numbers of students completing their studies, and an improved quality in the experience students get in our schools, which are headed by you. Please remember that you are the generation of leaders of these schools in this time, and this burden is on your shoulders, as I've already said. But take that extra mile to really ensure that all the students that go outside your gates of your schools will have had all the opportunities possible. And believe me, I understand and I know that you don't have all the necessities you need to do a very good job. But there is a saying that where there is a will, there is always a way. When the teachers are united in this spirit to really ensure that the children in your school get the best of the education there is, whatever circumstances are facing you, it will happen. And we have learned at the Ministry of Education that one thing that cannot wait is education. We say that education cannot wait because the children are growing and moving on into the world. So when the information they must get at a particular stage of their life is not given to them at that stage, then they may not get it. Because they are growing and they are going. They are moving on. So it is your responsibility to ensure that what must be done in your time at your school will be done. And believe me, you will never know how much blessing will come to you when you go that extra mile to make that child become a better person. Become and fulfill the purpose God actually meant for that child in this life. As it is clearly spelled out in the Education Act 2008, no learner under universal program should miss education due to financial levies. There is these financial levies we keep talking about, and I'm going to have to take another tour around the country, again if it's necessary, to discuss this problem of levies that continue to make some of the children actually drop out of education altogether, or at least miss some of the education. These levies, what can we do together to ensure that no children will drop out of school or miss some of the time at school because of these levies? We have invested more in this subsector with a view to empowering more Ugandans to have technical skills. We certainly need to do more to address the perceptions people hold about vocational education. And I want you to, as much as possible, try to explain to the public, to the community, that technical education is not for those who have failed. That is not true. Technical education is now required in the world. It is the authentic learning, actually, because there is nothing theoretical they learn in technical education that is not accompanied with practice. So you must try to encourage our communities to begin to consider technical education as very important and truly authentic learning. I wish to add that the quality of primary school teachers cannot be overemphasized. Primary education forms the foundation for the whole education agenda. I appeal to all PTCs to ensure that your products can adequately handle the primary curriculum and impart the relevant competencies that will make our children lifelong learners. I'd also like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you for the work you are doing to manage our schools and institutions. I congratulate the secondary school head teachers who nurtured the learners whose placement exercise for S5, for PTCs and technical institutions you have just successfully concluded. As a country, we have made a strong commitment through our Vision 2040 to have a strong economy that generates more and better jobs for our people. At this stage in the education of these learners, you have selected the prospects for the world of work and preparation for future professional careers. They now become, this time is more critical. We would like to see that more students advance in their studies, competencies, practical skills, and the right values and attitudes to life and work. And I know this is a lot of work. And I know that there are a lot of expectations out there. And all that work is on your shoulders. And so, this is why we don't take a day like this lightly. We want to inspire you. We want you to go out with confidence. We want you to really try and do what you can do and pray that God will indeed give each one of us the wisdom we require to do what we must do in this time to ensure that we give all the support these young people require. To get to the level they want to get to, we must ensure that the time they are with you is time well spent. This calls upon you as institutional leaders to effectively implement the threefold roles as the managers, administrators, and instructional leaders. You should ensure that our students achieve more from what they learn in class and outside the class. We are part of the global village. We talk a lot about the global village, but I don't know whether we realize what we are really saying. If we are a global village, then we should all be at par. But there is a way the world talks about the sub-Saharan Africa and talks about the education in the sub-Saharan Africa as the low and still striving to get to where others are. And we must realize that. And we must really know that we can no longer leave our children as they go into the world, as they must compete in that world, that global village we talk to be looked at as lower than others. The world is changing too rapidly due to science and technological advancement. Ours must also be changing. We are educating our young people for jobs that may not yet exist, requiring technologies that probably have not been invented yet, to solve problems which we are aware of and those we may not be aware of yet. That is why we need to give our young people flexible skills for learning, for work, and for life, which can be applied to whatever problems they face now and the problems they will face in future. The world needs workers skilled in information technology who can define, interpret, and implement solutions associated with information technology. This is why the Ministry of Education and Sports is emphasizing integration of ICT in the teaching and learning process in the new lower secondary curriculum and computer studies as a subsidiary subject at A level. Finally, let me take this opportunity to thank the Uganda National Examination Board for successfully conducting the national examination for 2019, for controlling examination fraud, and for the timely release of these results. And I'd like to say here that I didn't want to go a lot into the rollout of the new curriculum because there is a misunderstanding between us and Parliament, and we want to streamline that so that we can move at par, because we don't want to have part of our team misunderstanding what we are trying to do. Rolling out the lower secondary curriculum is a duty for us as policy makers and government, because it has been held for too long. If some of you know, or all of you know, it's been in the pipeline now for about 12 years. And we didn't want to let this pass again as we try to prepare better, because starting any new thing may not have all the preparations done at the same stage. But nonetheless, we will continue to do what we are doing in the Ministry of Education, and we will try also to get the members of Parliament as our partners also in leadership to understand the rollout of lower secondary curriculum, so that we can then move at the same level, so that you can all have the freedom to do this, knowing that government is all backing you. So I didn't want to go into the rollout of the curriculum right now, but I will, when we have finished with Parliament, I will address the press, and the public will know what we are doing. It is now my pleasure to close the 2020 Senior 5 PTCs and Technical Institution Selection Exercise closed, and I thank you, and God bless you.